Welcome to the Prophecy Club. Our topic today is a new dream from Coverstone that, well, the interpretation might be saying, I don't even want to say it. It might be saying that the tribulation has started. So let's go to it. It's called The Specialist Dream, Pastor Dana Coverstone, September 23rd, 2021. The dream began with me in a doctor's office at the local clinic where I'd been informed of the level of pneumonia that I had, and at the time I could expect to be healed completely from it. The doctor then informed me that a specialist would be in to see me in a few moments, and I should watch the medical information screening across the TV in the room. The room darkened, and the screen revealed running taglines saying, pay close attention here, avoid the unvaccinated. These people are dangerous, and please inform authorities of all sightings. I'll say it again. Avoid the unvaccinated. These people are dangerous, and please inform authorities of all sightings. Meaning, this vaccination thing, as we've been saying, is not the mark of the beast, but as we can see from this, it's going to lead to the mark of the beast. Then the screen showed a group of about 8 people running along a ditch near a field of corn that had not been harvested yet. They carried backpacks, and by the way, I should mention that this is slightly edited just for reading purposes. Nothing has been changed, just to make it flow better. They carried backpacks and several large earth-brown tarps. Let me back up. The screen showed a group of about 8 people running along a ditch near a field of corn that had not been harvested yet. They carried backpacks and several large earth-brown tarps. The sun was setting. They had 2 scouts closely watching ahead of them and 2 scouts behind them watching. When lights appeared on the road in either direction, they quickly ran into the field, about 30 feet in, and covered themselves with the tarp and laid extremely still. No movement, no noise was made until the vehicle was well out of sight. It was coordinated. It was an effort among the people, including children and dogs. As the threat passed, the people emerged. They ran straight ahead until they came to a T in the road. Scouts on the other side of the road, near a railroad track, flashed lights, telling them that it was clear to cross. They all ran quickly. Once they reached the ditch, a light blinked from the window of the garage of the home. By now it was dark, so the scouts started quietly moving a few people at a time. They had to lay flat on the ground as possible. The group crawled through the window, and just as the window closed, helicopters appeared overhead with searchlights, searching the area they had just left. The scene changed to an EMS alert. The signal blared loud, with a reporter saying, "Martial law has been declared. Anyone caught outside after 7 p.m. would be arrested and taken to their local," now listen to this, taken to their local COVID Authority Bureau for processing and fined up to $10,000. The reporter kept saying, "If you see something, say something. If you see something, say something. Safeguard your community with dangerous assailants. Do your country proud and turn them in." The screen changed back to the people being hogtied and thrown in the back of cattle trucks and hauled off. The people inside were yelling and screaming at the handlers. The handlers were all well armed. They used electric shock cattle prods to shock the people to back up. The scene changed again. I was in a medical laboratory. Professionals wearing white lab coats and face shields were watching a large glass tube the size of a hot tub filled with a red substance, which appeared to be blood. It was thick and had light and lasers shining into it. It churned as if it was boiling. It slightly changed into a bright, dark blood appearance. There were 4 people strapped onto beds, held down by their necks, chest, hips, feet, and hands. They had no fear. They were obviously sick, inflamed, and dying. One of the lab people dipped a pitcher into the vat of this blood-looking substance and poured it into 4 smaller cups. There was 1 caretaker for each person. They poured a few drops on each person's forehead. Each person started moving and moaning a bit, and then they were asked how they felt. One lady said she felt pain leaving her her hip and began to laugh. Then suddenly, she started convulsing, screaming, and died as her heart monitor was beeping furiously. The caretaker made notes on the chart, but did not seem one bit alarmed or surprised at her death. The next two men were young and shaking nervously. One said he was feeling heat in his chest and younger in his spirit. Suddenly, his mind snapped and seemed to have a stroke and stopped moving. The caretaker took notes, covered the young man's face with a sheet. By now, the third young man was shaking so uncontrollably he was shaking the bed. He was going in and out of consciousness. The caretaker to him had been taken to the secondary, had told him to be taken to the secondary observation room, as they seemed to have had some success there. The last young lady begged them not to do anything more to her. The caretaker gave her a shot, at which time she had a stroke and died immediately. The caretaker made a nod. Then the screen went blank, and the man, in other words, the angel, the man that I see so often, walked in, and I said to him, "I take it you're the specialist?" "You are right, and I will explain what you have seen, if you like to understand." He simply said, "Please," and he began. He said, "You're seeing the present future and the coming conservative purge." I'll say that again. You're seeing the present future. In other words, if nothing changes, if we don't pray, if we don't repent, if nothing changes, this is what is coming. Well, that's what Coverstone has been shown a lot of times in the past, but I believe we've been able to pray it away, and I certainly think we better start praying this away. Nevertheless, he's saying that this is what's coming now. You're seeing the present future and the coming conservative purge. I made a broadcast here a couple of months ago talking about this Purge movie. Like there's over 200 Purge movies and TV programs and all sorts of stuff having to do with the Purge. And I said it is talking about how they plan to purge the earth of all Christians. They're going to round them up. Well, this is confirming it. And the coming conservative purge. I'll say it again. The coming conservative purge. The Antichrist spirit is here. Now, that's the thing I want to talk about here in just a minute. So notice that real carefully. What is that saying? The Antichrist spirit is here. What did that say? The Antichrist spirit is here, and yet they begin to make the purchase to deceive the world with healing blood that will mock the blood of Christ. This blood is not as my blood and will never heal or forgive or restore. But they must make it appear to have power, even if it is empty. Yet many will claim and empty their will to declare its worthless virtue. But you must stay braced. Every believer, listen to this, every believer is about to have their bracing revealed and their foundation uncovered. As the specialist, I warn you, listen carefully. As the specialist, I warn you, take the salve from your eyes. Stop coating your life with wine. Now, let me back up. As I said before, I do not believe that it was an apple that Adam and Eve ate in the garden. I believe it was a grape. If you look up grapes and wine press, just about everything having to do with the grape or the wine or anything like that is all representing one word. It represents sin. So it says stop coating your life with wine. It's saying stop sinning. Stop coating your life with wine and stay fully sober. Now what does this mean? The day has arrived. Let's back up. Here it says the Antichrist spirit is here. Then it says the day has arrived. What's the day? The day's arrived for the testing of your life. What's it saying? We're going to come back and talk about it. Well, I'll tell you just this in advance. I said suspect. When it says the Antichrist spirit is here, it's saying that the tribulation has started. The first seal has been opened. The beast that has been falling endlessly and helplessly for some 3,000 years since it was Nebuchadnezzar has now been released out of that bottomless pit, and is now in the world. Now, I don't want to believe that, but you can't escape it. That is what it's probably saying. Now, let me go on. So the Antichrist spirit is here. The day has arrived for the testing of your life. Okay, what is the testing? What is the greatest test all Christians will go through? The answer, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, receive a mark in the right hand or in their forehead, and that no man might buy or sell save he had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. That's our greatest test. Can we avoid taking that mark? So what it's confirming is, when it says the day has arrived, the testing of your life, it's saying the beast has now arrived into this world. I'll give you a disclaimer. I'm not saying I like it. I don't want to. I'm just giving you an interpretation. I didn't write the stuff, okay? I'm not saying God told me this. I'm saying that is the interpretation. That's what it is saying. We might not like it. We better interpret it right. As the day has arrived for the testing of your life, then he touched my forehead, leaving an ashen mark with his fingerprint in it. Then he reached into his left jacket with his right hand and took out a small white cloth and wiped it off. I'm marking those who are mine, and I will walk beside them in the fire, even though some of you here in this country will meet soon on the other side. What's that saying? Could it be saying that they're about to die in a giant earthquake, or maybe in a tsunami, or maybe even suitcase nukes? I don't want to believe that the Russian attack is that close, but we can't escape it. He grabbed my hand and squeezed until I could feel goodness and virtue coming into my body. Then he said, "Be faithful unto death, and I will give you the crown of life." Whoa, that's what Jesus spoke to the church of Smyrna. Be faithful unto death, and I will give you the crown of life. And I probably should jump over and talk about that, but let me finish it. So the room went black, and I woke shaking and crying, wept for about 10 minutes as I gathered myself. Now, let's dig into this. The Antichrist spirit is here. 1 John 2:18 says, "Little children, it is the last time. And as you've heard that Antichrist shall come, even now are there many Antichrists, whereby we know it is the last time." Then we jump to John 4:3. "And every spirit that confesseth not that Jesus Christ is come in the flesh is not of God. And this is the spirit of Antichrist, whereof ye have heard that it should come, and even now already is in the world." Then you jump to 2 John 1:7. "For many deceivers are entered into the world, who confess not that Jesus Christ has come into the flesh. This is a deceiver and an Antichrist." So these three scriptures say that the spirit of the Antichrist is already here. Okay, if these scriptures say the Antichrist or the spirit of the Antichrist, that's exactly what it said. Now are there many Antichrists? Even now, already as it's in the world. If the spirit of the Antichrist is already in it according to these three verses, then what does this mean? The Antichrist spirit is here. Wait a minute. It was here 2,000 years ago, according to those scriptures. So what's it saying the Antichrist spirit is here? I'm asking a question. If you were right in front of me, I would say, and I want an answer. Very, very important. When it says the spirit of the Antichrist is here, what does it say? Could it be saying that the Antichrist, the beast, has been released from falling endlessly and helplessly in the bottomless pit? Remember, Revelation 6:1 tells us what starts the tribulation. "And I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard, as it were, the noise of thunder." Yes, I know, Ken Peters saw that was like a 1970s car horn, long and loud and every ear heard it. But that's not Bible. He also said that he saw graves explode open, dirt literally flying, people standing around the graves wearing bright, shining, like choir robes, and then they just disappeared. You didn't see them float up in the air, they just simply disappeared. But, again, that's not Bible. Could it be that the beast has been released? Hang on, I got more. Now let's scroll down. Now you remember I've covered this several times. And I'll talk about this. This is my note from another broadcast I left on here. It's been nagging in my heart that the tribulation could be starting this coming Feast of the Trumpets, which now is in the past because the Feast of Trumpets in 2021 was September the 6th. Remember, we had a solemn September assembly then. Okay, so let me refresh your memory. There's 2 cows born in, here, let me jump to that. I think I'm showing you this cow. Yeah, okay. So here's one cow. One cow was born the day before the Shemitah, and one cow was born on the Shemitah, but they were both released to the public on a Shemitah. Now, if you look at this cow, what you see is a black and white cow. The interpretation is that when Proverbs 13:22, the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the just, when that great wealth transfer that Shane Warren talked about, and Neville Johnson talked about out of Australia, when that happens, it's saying that some are going to be a part of that wealth transfer and going to be blessed, hence the black. Some will miss it, hence the white. So the interpretation of this is saying some are blessed, some aren't. Well, that makes sense. But if you look at the right across the forehead of this cow, it is a pristine 7. I mean, you don't see any black hairs in the white. You don't see any white hairs in the black. Do you think that's an accident? Do you think it's an accident that both of these cows, now here's the red one. This cow is all red. Now, what is red? If your books are in the red, what does it mean? It means you're financially in trouble, right? And if you see that this is not just a beautiful 7, this is just a scribbled 7. I believe that the interpretation is basically saying this. This cow is saying there's 7 years of plenty, which will be followed by 7 years of famine. 7 years of plenty, followed by 7 years of famine. Now, when does this start? And get back over here. All right. Well, on September 25th of 2014, just happens to be a Shemitah. Now, what's that? Well, a Shemitah means 7. It only happens once every 7 years. As Pharaoh had his dream of the 7 years of plenty and the 7 years of famine, what it means is that starting September 25th, which was when these 2 cows with a 7 on their forehead were released to the public, the interpretation is, not me saying it, but the interpretation of the 2 cows is that September 25th, 2014 started a 7-year time of blessing. 7 years of plenty. Then, scroll down here, then September, exactly 7 years later, on a Shemitah, on September 6, 2021, started 7 years of famine. I guess it's probably, 2 or 3 weeks ago. I've been saying this for the last couple of weeks, that we are now in a famine. The famine has started. I'm telling you, the famine has started. Now, in that we just passed by the Feast of Trumpets, and I believe that God has showed me that the tribulation starts on the Feast of Trumpets, and it ends on the Feast of Trumpets when Jesus returns and splits the clouds. So here's the summary. Here's the point. The 2 cows place the return of Jesus exactly 14 years after the first Shemitah, which would mean Feast of Trumpets 2028. I haven't looked up the Feast of Trumpets 2028. Now, did I say Jesus is going to return in 2028? No, I didn't. But I'm saying that the interpretation of what the cows are saying is exactly that. Did Stan say Jesus is going to say is returning in 2028? No, I didn't. Don't say it. Don't do it. I didn't say that. Now, let me back up here. So trumpets, Shemitah, September 21, 2021. I did look it up. That's a Shemitah. Now, I also think it's interesting that Terry Bennett said he had the angel Gabriel come to him and in so many words say that Jesus is going to return in 2028. He did not say it exactly that way either. And let me back up. If you back up here, you see that, wait, I want to show you, hang on. Okay, he did not say the beast is now in the world. He didn't say that. He did not, let me say it, make it clear. The angel speaking to Dana Coverstone did not say the tribulation started September 6, 2021. The angel did not say the tribulation started September 6, 2021 on Feast of Trumpets. The angel did not say it started. The angel did not say it started. Or the angel did not say it started. Okay, so what's the interpretation? I think the interpretation has to be that it's a possibility. So that's what I'm going to say officially. You can quote me on this. There's a possibility that the tribulation started September 6, 2021. But I've been saying that for a long time. I said there's a possibility it could start then. I don't think we have enough evidence yet to say for certain that we're in the tribulation. As I just made a broadcast a few days ago, and I said, tell you how what you watch for. You watch for the first two seals. And I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard as were the noise of thunder. And there, one of the other four beasts came to me and said, come and see. And I looked, and behold, a white horse. And he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given to him. Here it is. And he went forth conquering and to conquer. So one of the first things you'll see, if we just walked into the tribulation, very soon we're going to see war start. And I don't mean a little skirmish. It's probably going to be a big one. Because then you go to the second one. When I saw when he opened the second seal, I heard, as it were, and one of the four beasts said, come and see. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, that they should kill one another, and to him was given a great sword. So there's nothing that says the first two seals take place over the first 2 years. The voice spoke to me and said the seven seals play over 7 years. The seven trumpets play over 7 months. The seven vials play over 7 days. But it did not say that one seal plays once each year, meaning those first two seals could play over a couple of weeks, meaning if we are in the tribulation, if you want to know if we're in the tribulation, here's what you watch for. You watch for war starting. Now, I just understand that just yesterday, the Taiwan was overflown by 14 different Chinese combat aircraft. We're seeing trouble between them. We're seeing trouble in Afghanistan. We're seeing trouble on our southern border. The French are angry at us, took home their diplomat. So what we watch for to know if the tribulation has started, do not say, I said the tribulation has started. Do not do that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's a strong possibility, just like me and you, we're going to be watching. We're going to be watching to see if there is a war that has started. If a war starts, and it's probably going to be a doozy, then we can probably think that we are in the tribulation. Now, here's the point of the dream. So he says the Antichrist spirit is here. I don't know another way to say, because those other two scriptures say they've been here. Antichrist spirits have been here for 2,000 years. So it's not saying that. So the only way I can interpret that, it's saying is, yeah, the beast that falls endlessly, helplessly in the bottomless pit, that's entered at the bottomless pit and attacks the two witnesses, kills the two witnesses. Apparently, he's been released. Did I say he's been released? No. But I'm going to be watching. Then it says the day has arrived. What day? The test of your life. What was the test? That would be the mark of the beast. And that would be the beast has arrived to bring the mark of the beast for the testing of your life. He also just openly admitted that there's about to be some dead Christians in the nation. Wow. And then he ends it with, be faithful unto death, and I will give you a crown of life. This, I think, is his strongest dream yet. And I guess I should also mention, I have not conferred with him on the interpretations to any of this. These are all my interpretations, but I believe they are correct. I think now we need to be watching real carefully for the other. Oh, here's another thing. Of course, Afghanistan has now called 6 other nations together into a meeting, and they haven't said it directly that I've heard, but my guess is they're trying to start a caliphate. And it'll be 4 nations that have 4 leaders, straight out of Daniel 7, the third beast, because you can't have the fourth beast, which is world government, until you have the third beast. Well, now they're talking about forming the third beast. We've been watching for this for a long time. So all of a sudden, a lot of prophecies we've been talking about, they're in the process of being fulfilled, my brothers and sisters. They're in the process of being fulfilled. Now, let me suggest, if you need food, call heavensharvest.com. Use the promo code STAN, helps your prophecy club. If you want your computer chips to work, once the suitcase nukes go off, and I don't want to believe they're going to go off, I'm still praying against it, but nevertheless, I have it in my home, in my car, my wife's car, EMPShield.com, promo code prophecy. If you need some kind of precious metals, gold, silver, whatnot like that, then we're going to send you to cornerstoneassetmetals.com. cornerstoneassetmetals.com, heavensharvest.com, promo code STAN, or EMPShield.com, promo code prophecy. Due to many emergencies across the land, most people are out of Berkey water filters. We have them in stock at prophecyclub.com. In 2017, God helped me to memorize the book of Revelation and gave me 30 revelations, 2 visions, and an audible voice. God showed me the word first fruits is a secret door linking the feasts of Leviticus to the prophecies of Revelation. For the first time, the end-time prophecies of Revelation can be placed in correct chronological order. One prophetic word said, "There is a lock I put over a word in the book of Revelation. I'm going to open unto you. It will turn many books written on the end-time message into obsolete books." That's this book. It's called The Secret Door to Understand Bible Prophecy. So what if you had to tell a person the most important thing in the world, but you knew they're probably not going to believe you? Well, if you're listening to this, I believe you'd probably still tell them. Well, the most important thing to do is to receive Jesus. But the most important information is to not take the mark of the beast, because those people taking the mark of the beast do not get soul death, but they're tossed into eternal torment in hell without any possibility of escape. We put it into a book, Miss the Mark, Don't Take the Mark of the Beast, a simple book to give to people. If they read, they will never take the mark of the beast. Countless people are believing that they're not going to see any trouble of the tribulation. They're going to go in a rapture, which is a misunderstanding. So God had me write a book called How Pre-Trib Won. It explains how the Christian church was so snookered into believing a misunderstanding like this, and it helps them through scriptures to see the truth that there is not going to be a pre-trib, mid-trib, or pre-wrath rapture. No one is going any place to escape any testing. It's called How Pre-Trib Won. Then, the book of Daniel, most people agree, is probably the most difficult book in the Bible to understand. So I wrote a book called Tribulation Secrets in Daniel, which gives this last generation the explanation and the parts of Daniel that they need to endure the tribulation. Pure and simple, it takes Daniel and makes it easy to understand. It's called Tribulation Secrets in Daniel. As you know, many of the broadcasts have referred to a list of dreams, visions, and audible voices from people like Dimitri Duduman, Michael Boldea, Leslie Johnson, Henry Gruver, and others. We put together a special radio offer. You can get 10 How Pre-Trib Won, 10 Tribulation Secrets in Daniel, 10 Miss the Mark, 5 Secret Door to Understand Bible Prophecy, 5 God's Warnings to America, totaling 40 books valued at $800 for a gift of just $100 at prophecyclub.com. That's 40 books valued at $800 for a gift of just $100 at prophecyclub.com. prophecyclub.com. Everyone is in a panic. No one is taking credit cards or dollar bills anymore, but they are taking silver coins. Call cornerstoneassetmetals.com, mention Prophecy Club. When a nuclear device goes off, it produces an EMP, an electromagnetic pulse, and it fries every computer chip unless they're protected. The good news is EMPShield.com has devices a military testing facility says are 100% accurate to protect against EMP, solar flares, lightning, power surges, backed by a 10-year warranty and a $25,000 insurance policy. And they come with simple installation instructions for home, vehicles, RV, and electric generators. You can have electricity in a blackout. EMPShield.com. Use the promo code PROPHECY for a $50 gift card. This helps Prophecy Club. That's EMPShield.com, promo code PROPHECY for a $50 gift card. EMPShield.com. EMPShield.com. Heaven's Harvest has food in stock. The coveted freeze-dried food in stock at heavensharvest.com. And if you put the promo code in STAN, it helps your prophecy club, and it also gets you a packet of heirloom seeds free. heavensharvest.com, promo code STAN, STAN. heavensharvest.com, STAN.